I believe that the quality of life in a community is defined by the way the community treats its elders. And if you find a community that engages the elders in all of life, you're going to find a place that's a good place to live, and life's good.
The test of our society today, especially as we're getting more and more people who are growing older, is going to be how do we care for them? What kind of setting do we provide that they can live out their last years with some dignity and with some hope?
In our society in the United States today, we have separated the generations. Even our organization, by building a retirement community of just elders, pulls them out of the community. And grandkids don't get to grow up down the road from their grandparents, or grandmama doesn't move in with them, and we're suffering because of that.
Right now in America, there are about 1.7 million people living in a nursing home. And any adult American who reaches the age of 65 has a 50% chance of spending time, significant time, in a nursing home.
For more than 50 years, the care of many frail and elderly has been the mission of nursing homes, often in large institutional settings. Despite public dollars, many levels of oversight and regulation, the nursing home still feels and acts more like a hospital than home.
You know, I did with one lady here one day, and she was going on, I want to go home, I want to go home. I said, lady, you are home. She said, no, I'm not. And I said, yep, this and then the bone pile. And then she really did squeal.
For the last 10 years, my wife Jude and I have been working every day to reform nursing homes as they exist. And we've created an approach called the Eden Alternative, which helps us do that. And our dream has always been, what if we took the ideas of the Eden Alternative and started with a blank sheet of paper? Well, that dream is the greenhouse.
The greenhouse vision was developed with assistance from the Fan Fox Samuels Foundation. The Robert Wood Johnson Foundation now funds this continued effort. The greenhouse needed a visionary organization to sponsor a pilot project. Steve McAlilly stepped forward.
I first heard Bill Thomas. He began to articulate things that I had been feeling for a long time. Things like people would rather die than move into a nursing home, and we need to return to a society that honors and respects elders.
Together, they planned replacing Cedars nursing home with 12 greenhouses.
The driving force behind this plan is absolutely the hearth. It's where life happens in the home. Just as in your home, people gather in the kitchen around the dining table where those things of life happen, that happens in this greenhouse. We have 10 private bedrooms, all with private baths, and they are all situated around this hearth area. And there's a flexibility and socialization factor there that we built in, and that was part of the original concept, that if the elder wants total privacy, they can be in their room with the door shut. They can open their door and kind of vicariously experience what's going on in the hearth area, or they can leave their room and be in the hearth area and socialize with the other elders.
We knew that if it couldn't be done at the current reimbursement rate, then it would be something that would be done only for those who were wealthy, and it really wouldn't make any wide-scale impact on long-term care.
I've worked for years to improve a system that has bosses of bosses of bosses of bosses. And I've struggled to try to bring a sense of human warmth to those kinds of environments. And it's occurred to me that what I really need to do is to create an environment where the elder is the boss.
We got a good lunch fixed.
Hey,
Yeah!
I love you.
I love you too.
Historically, the people who work the closest with the elders have had the lowest prestige in long-term care organizations. The greenhouse turns that idea upside down. We've created a new profession, something we call the midwife of elderhood. The Shabazz is a person who has a calling to work with elders. The Shabazz is trained to be a habilitator. And what that means is somebody who brings forth the abilities already existing in another person. A Shabazz is dedicated to protect, sustain, and nurture the elders.
I was kind of nervous because I was like, well, Lord, I just hope I do right, or I hope I don't mess up, or, you know, I want it to be perfect for them.
It's all about the elders here. I had to go through Shabazz training.
We've had cooking classes, we've had laundry classes, we've had lift training classes, just anything pertaining to the home, we have had to take classes to learn.
And how to work together so this can all be possible here, because it's like 2 people in the daytime, 2 people in the evening time, and 1 person at night, and we had to all come together, work together as a team so this would be possible.
A role of a Shabazim is so many roles in one, but I feel like the mainest one from a Shabazim is to do your work from your heart. And if you've got it in your heart, then you're going to do the rest right.
This has given us the opportunity to show that we're not just CNAs, and just because we chose to take care of the elders, that we're not uneducated, unlearned, uncivilized people.
The Shabazz stands proudly equal to the wonderful skilled nurses who also contribute to the well-being of the elders in the greenhouse.
The regulations require you to have a nurse's station. We're not going to have a nurse's station because this is home and there aren't nurse's stations in people's homes. But we will provide all the functions of a nurse's station.
Skilled clinical care is provided to each greenhouse by a support team of health professionals who regularly visit the houses. Nurses are on campus 24 hours a day and available to the Shabazim by radio and emergency pager.
I think to Bill, and I know to me, greenhouse means a place that is full of growth and life, and green signifies to us life.
By the spring of 2003, the first 4 greenhouses were ready. Over a period of 6 weeks, 40 elders were moved, 10 at a time, from Cedars to their new homes.
We're getting ready to move. And as I am a lazy person, you can see it takes a lot of people to do it.
Just like I'm moving home where I came from, you know. It feels like that, you know. I'm gonna be free.
My mother, Mildred Adams, is a resident in Cedars nursing home. She's had the opportunity to come here to the greenhouse, and it's a great thing. We're excited about it for her, but in her condition, I wish it could have happened sooner, 3 or 4 or 5 years ago maybe. She's been in nursing home care since 1999.
To Charles Adams and his wife Becky, the move to a greenhouse is a wonderful opportunity that has perhaps come too late. Mildred Adams' physical and mental state has deteriorated to the point where she no longer feeds herself, seldom speaks, and seems oblivious to the world around her.
Hey, good. Got you a brand new place, and you can just go out to the kitchen and anywhere you want to go.
Well, we're just gonna take our time, okay?
All right. Okay. Bye, Betty. Love you.
Well, you're gonna go off and leave me?
You just gotta come see me.
Okay.
I'm gonna miss you. I know what you're gonna miss me. Don't just wave at me. Come to see me. Here I am, darling.
Bye, little lady.
Bye, Miss Krueger.
Bye.
Good luck to you.
Good luck to you, too, but I won't be here.
You're doing good. Have room for everybody. Oh, we're going now.
Who would ever think that an 89-year-old woman would be moving into her own palace? You tell me about that.
Y'all wave at y'all neighbors.
To the right and the welcome neighbors.
They all asked me did I want to move. I told them I was the moving kind. I like to go, just say you're going and I'm gone. So here I am.
That's the difference in the greenhouse. People are coming there to live, not to die. And we believe that anybody, regardless of frailty or mental capacity, still can continue to grow. And that's what the greenhouse does. It's an environment that enables that growth. Anybody walks in the door, it's one of those, yes, this is what it ought to be.
You smell like good cooking they're doing.
I'm glad that you're able to be
Cooking you a good meal.
When you walk in the door, you smell breakfast cooking. You smell the coffee.
We want the aroma of the food to come out. That's why we're constantly having some baked goods, because aroma goes through, it makes them hungry, that increases their appetite. They eat better. Kitchen is a gathering place anymore, and even so, with these homes, I see the elders gathering around the kitchen, hanging around the counter, just watching, asking questions.
She's smiling. She's smiling.
They sit down at the family table. They talk about what happened during the day. We serve them the soup, then we're done with the soup, we clear it, then we serve the next. There's no hurry that says, fine, you got to be done by 12:30 because I've got to go do something else. No, if it takes 2 hours, it takes 2 hours to eat. It's relaxed, and we want the Shabazim to sit down and enjoy the meal with them. You know, they say, I like my meat done a little bit different, and someone's going to be there. Okay, let's try that next time. We want to have a picnic tomorrow. Yeah, let's have a picnic. Okay, so Saturday we'll grill hamburgers and hot dogs.
That you can sleep late if you want to. You don't have to, everyone doesn't have to have the same breakfast every morning or the same lunch or the same dinner. That kind of facility is just, I don't know why we haven't thought of it sooner.
I love to come to work every day. It's an experience to see people getting back, like I said, some of their dignity. Some of them wouldn't even eat. They come in the nursing home, they sit there at the table and fall asleep, and they wouldn't even eat their food. Here they're eating, they're talking, they're drinking, they're having dessert. It's great.
She's eating much more since we moved in here. I think they said she had a 4-pound weight gain last week. Up there, she'd just go to sleep and maybe fall over in her plate.
Within an hour of the move, at her first meal in a greenhouse, Mildred stunned her son by taking the spoon away from him.
I started out feeding her a while ago, because she's been fed, for the last several months, but she took the spoon away from her.
She did?
And she started feeding herself.
Great.
Have a good meal.
That's just what we're thinking is going to happen here.
It's just amazing that she's doing this. She has not fed herself in months, really. And today she wanted to do it. It's amazing.
Mildred continues to feed herself and is speaking more.
You got any that's hot?
Okay, do you want sugar or cream?
Such improvement is common in the greenhouses.
We have an elder here named Miss Stubbefield. She hadn't been out to bed, and now she's up and in her wheelchair, and she's in here every day when we're cooking supper, and she's talking about her recipes, and it's just wonderful.
The ones that were in wheelchairs are now out walking around. It amazes me. I love it. Their smile on their faces, the expression on their faces are totally different. Totally different.
How you like it?
I like it.
I knew you would.
Isn't it nice? It's just all the comforts of home. And nice people.
We want to create a place that people want to be in. And what we're going to provide there is a place that is home, not home-like, but is home to these elders.
Well, I am 95 years old, and I should know a little bit about being an old person. But they're very gracious to me. They're very caring.
They know now that they can do for themselves, where over there, they didn't have a chance.
It just makes me so happy. I'm about to cry.
I mean, I've never felt that valuable to somebody. Just seeing that look immediately let me know that it's worth every bit of it. It's worth all the late nights and the very early mornings to make it happen.
And it also enables the workers that work in the greenhouse to continue to grow as people. And when that happens, we can't even imagine the outcomes. We can't even dream today the significance it's going to mean in the lives of the people that have come to live and work there.
We love you.
People who were in wheelchairs are walking again. People who weren't talking are talking again. People who weren't eating real food are eating real food again. People who were losing weight, and no matter how hard we tried in the nursing home, they're gaining weight again. People who, when you walk in the door, you see a twinkle in their eye again. It's almost sinful not to do as much as we can, as fast as we can.
When I come to visit my mom, it's not like I'm coming to a hospital. People in the hospital usually come and they say, well, I have an obligation to go see my mom because she's in the hospital. So you fulfill that obligation. But when you're here, it's just like you're home. The staff are great. Everyone is friendly. You sit in a chair, you talk to them, you want to stay longer. You're more comfortable here.
Your family can feel good about coming to visit you. They don't have to get depressed because they're walking into an institution that smells bad and looks bad and that's very cold. At the greenhouse, it's a very warm, welcoming, inviting atmosphere for everybody that comes.
Just in the 6 weeks that we've had elders living in a greenhouse, we have had more people from the community of Tupelo in a nursing home probably than the last 6 months put together. We have had more children in the greenhouse than ever at Cedars, unless it was, you know, a little children's choir that came at Christmas to sing, which that's nice, but that's not engagement.
Welcome to the Martin house. How are y'all? Good. I'm good. Good. This is Miss Louise Peters. This is Miss Alice Bailey.
What's one of the things that you like here?
Well, I like it all, but it's so convenient for me, you know, me being blind.
It's just plain nice. Everything about it is great.
Oh, I think it's beautiful. Heaven on earth. You know, I never had nothing like this in my lifetime.
I like it because it's like home.
I believe the greenhouse brings the community back in to the lives of the elders.
When y'all come back to see us.
And then they go back out, and the community is better because of that vessel that provides a way for relationships with the elders.
So are y'all ready to move in?
When you see this, it's so simple and makes so much sense that you just wonder how could the other have ever come to be.
By supporting the greenhouse, you bring a fresh new philosophy into your community. And that philosophy is changing lives. And you can be part of a revolution that remakes elder care in America.